Shri Gurudeva Datta. In chapter 8, the conversation between Namadharak and Siddha Yogi continues. Namadharak is very keen to know from Siddha Yogi that how many years did Shripad Shrivallabh stay at Gokarna. Yogi answers that Shripad Shrivallabh remained at this place for Gokarna for 3 years, and from there he moved on from Nivrutti Sangam to Kuravpur on the banks of the river Krishna. Kuravpur is called as the Karma Bhumi of Shripad Shrivallabh. He used to have his morning ablutions at the bank of the river Krishna, and he used to sit in a meditative trance for hours together. Many devotees would come and fall at the feet of Shri Guru, that is Shripad Shrivallabh, asking for his blessings and salvation. In the same place at Kuravpur, in a small village, lived a Brahmin family. The husband-wife had a son who was a little mentally challenged. He was dull in education. The Brahmin was very learned and was a master at all the scriptures, Vedas and other chantings. But the son was not able to recite even the Gayatri mantra. This angered the father so much that every day he used to keep abusing and scolding his son for being such a dullard. One day, the anger went to such a level that he started hitting his son for being so dull. The mother intervened and she said that if you continue to beat my son so much, I will take him and we both will give our lives up in the river Krishna. This stopped the Brahmin from abusing his child, but within a few days, as he could not bear the condition of his son and his less intelligence, he died because of overstress. Now the Brahmin's wife, Ambika, and their son were left to fend for themselves. The villagers did not pay heed to this family. They said, the father was so learned, but you are such a dull boy. The only thing that you should do is go with your mother and end up your lives, that is, commit suicide at the river Krishna. They were rejected by society, they were humiliated, insulted to such an extent that things went overboard, and both of them, the mother and son, decided that they would end up their lives at the Krishna river. As they were walking towards the river, they found a yogi in a meditative trance. Realizing that before they end their lives, they would take the blessings of this great divine person, they approached him. It was none other than Shripad Shrivallabh. They prostrated at his feet, and Ambika gave him the entire account of their life. She said, because of this dull child of mine, I am not able to earn a living, and the society also rejects us. So we have decided to end our lives, but we thought that before we do so, we'll take the blessings of a very divine personality like you. Shripad Shrivallabh tells him to sit down, and he says, I have something to narrate to you. Once you are convinced with that, then you can take up your decision. He says, there was a king whose name was Chandrasen, and he was a very pious, devoted king to his kingdom. He had a minister, a chief advisor called Manibhadra. This chief advisor was a very great devotee of Shiva. And the greatness of his devotion was such that Shiva appeared in front of Manibhadra and gave him a gem that is called the Chintamani, which is supposed to be a wish-granting stone. This precious stone had a lot of divine radiance and illuminescence. On every Shani Pradosh, the king would do the puja of this great precious stone along with the counselor, that is his chief advisor, Manibhadra. The king would have a lot of wealth in his kingdom because of the Shani Pradosh Vrat which he used to do on this particular Chintamani. The kings of the neighboring towns had a sense of jealousy, and they would not know the reason for this kingdom of Chandrasen to progress so much. So they decided that they would attack the king and by hook or by crook get hold of this precious gem, that is Chintamani. In the meantime, the king Chandrasen, along with his chief advisor Manibhadra, organized the Shani Pradosh Vrat. And while they were doing it, there was a lot of fanfare and festoons all arranged all over the city and the kingdom. There was a radiance all over the place. Now, many people had come to watch this, and in that crowd, there were a small group of children, young boys aged maybe from 3 years to about 10 years. These group of boys who were cowherds saw this puja being done on the Shivling, that is on the precious stone which was given to them, and they thought that they would duplicate the entire process themselves. So they went to a small location nearby. They prepared a small Shivling out of sand, and they started doing the same way the worship of that Shivling as what the king was doing at the Chintamani. As this was going on, it was quite late in the evening, and the mothers of these cowherds came over to call them. Most of the boys went back, but one boy remained back, saying that he would not come and he would be with this Shivling because Shiva was there and he wanted to be with him throughout. The mother tried to cajole him in a nice way, but he would not listen, and he was adamant that he wanted to be near that Shivling itself because he said, we have worshipped, we have done our puja towards it, so we want to be here. The mother was so furious at her son that she dragged him out of it. She tried to pull him out of the place, and in the process she even kicked that Shivling which was made of sand. The boy was horror struck to see that the entire Shivling was shattered to pieces because of the kick that his mother gave it. He just threw her hand apart and he said, I am not coming along with you, and he cried so much that she left him there and went away. The boy was crying profusely, and finally, out of tiredness and hunger, he fell unconscious. At that time, in front of him appeared Shiva, and he told him that I am so pleased with your devotion that you have given up your food, your water, everything on a day like this, which is supposed to be Shani Pradosh, and on this day, whoever worships me gets multifold blessings. So I also have my grace on you. Tell me what you want. This cowherd says, I do not want anything except that you should forgive my mother, who has done a measly act of kicking your Shivling which I had worshipped. So please forgive her, because she had not done it with any intention, but with the intention that I should be coming home and having my food on time. Shiva forgives her and he tells the boy so. The boy then goes to his house, and his mother holds him very fondly towards her, and she is very upset with herself for having behaved in a certain way. The boy says that I have got a vision of Shiva and he has forgiven you for your deed. So do not hold anything in mind. Just be happy that you have seen the prayer that we had offered at the Shivling. Now this entire thing was being told by Shripad Shrivallabh to Ambika with the view that he said the same prayer or the same Shani Pradosh Vrat was done by the cowherds, and in the same way Krishna was born in the family of Nanda because they also had done Shani Pradosh Vrat for a long time. Similarly, in your lineage also, he says, Ambika, in your next birth there will be a great soul born and he will be a preceptor or a guru for the entire world. In this way, Shripad Shrivallabh blesses Ambika. He puts his hand on the head of this dull boy, and the boy suddenly gains wisdom. Ambika and her son live for a long time. The son has become a learned Brahmin by now, and being belonging to the priestly class, he has earned respect and recognition all over. He has further a family expanded into children and grandchildren, and Ambika is very happy. And at an old age, after doing years of Shani Pradosh Vrat, she dies. This is the chapter which tells us about the glories or the divine Leelas of Shripad Shrivallabh. Further, what all are his Leelas, we'll see in the next chapter. Till then, Shri Gurudev Datta.